I'm going to start
All right.
recording. Hello. Welcome back.
Hello.
Kisses, hugs. Episode 8. We're a little late.
Episode 8. That's okay.
Bye. Late on the
We
day.
have lives.
Things happen. We
Fine.
get the big
Things
sads.
happen. Don't you worry. Next week might also be weird because I'm going to be out. Well, I'll be around.
Hey, the people
But
who
just to
listen,
odd time.
us, they'll know.
Us. They'll understand.
I got
It's like they've gone through exactly what we've gone.
Yeah, no. If we just go MIA, I mean, here's the thing. If we eventually put something out, that's still pretty good. That's progress, in my opinion.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Is 8 episodes the most we've done?
I want to say the other one was 10. Let me go back, which is crazy because I was like, what did we talk about for 10 episodes?
I have no idea. I genuinely
Now I
have
have to go
no
look.
clue.
Oh, now my phone's playing music. Okay, it won't stop playing. I'm actually an elder.
Or sometimes I do things, I'm like, oh no, don't fall into the trap.
They're gonna
The
know
trap.
I'm old. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm
Who
stupid.
has a cone on their
Wait,
head? Who has a cone on their head?
that's Grandma Cat. She will not
Okay.
stop scratching her head off. So I'll get
Okay.
her, and she had a cone that was working super well, but she figured out how to slip it off. No idea where it is.
Mm.
It's lost in my house. I've looked in every like
Oh,
crevice. 1,
it's gonna
2,
be
3,
mess
4,
between stuff.
5, 6,
Why
7,
do I not
8.
find?
Oh, we're exactly tied.
Wow,
Yep, pretty big
that's
deal.
exciting. Yeah.
You said that you
Okay, I
had
found.
questions for me the other day. Random
Oh,
questions.
did I have one
Okay.
because a friend of mine went on a road trip
Okay.
and they asked me what my road trip snacks were. And I didn't know I had opinions on it, but there are snacks that I get every single time I'm like going to be in the car for I'd say more than 4 hours.
Okay. Yeah.
So like an actual, not like
Yeah.
a quick, this weekend is going to be like a quick where I go. So it's not going to be a big deal. But if you're going somewhere, I'd say more than 4 hours,
Mhm.
5 hours even. Do you have specific snacks that you get
Yes. But I do have a
for the
question.
drive?
Are any of your snacks the same as childhood? Because we went to the same vacation spot a lot. You have gone there recently. And we always would stop and get snacks before. So some of those have been inherited
Mm.
snacks. Are any of yours inherited?
One
Okay,
one of
same
mine is
same one.
inherited.
Okay.
Yes, one of mine is
Um
inherited.
so my snacks I have to have on road trips. My inherited beef jerky.
Okay.
And then I love the pull apart Twizzlers, the cherry. My family did the strawberry, but I love the pull apart ones. You can do stuff with them. You can tie them up. Not tie them up. You can tie
Okay.
them. Not a
Well,
pervert.
you can tie them.
And then since Sam and I have been road
Whip your
tripping together, Goldfish has been our joint snack that we get.
love. That is good. I will say some of mine have had to change in the last year, but I still get them. One of mine is also Twizzlers. That is
Oh,
my
okay.
inherited one. My grandma, every single time we would go anywhere, Twizzlers would be in the
Yep.
car. Even when we flew to Florida, Twizzlers were in the bag. Um, so Twizzlers is my inherited one. I do it mostly for the nostalgia,
I
is what
love
it is.
Twizzlers.
But my like when I go, I'm getting pork rinds.
Okay. That's a good one.
And it is, and the other is either regular Gardettos or the bold flavor Chex Mix.
Mm.
Depends on how I'm feeling that day, but it's like the same kind of vibe. But those are the ones I get.
The bold are so good. I used to have the bold Chex Mix with a Crystal Light at night. Delicious. I would have that so often,
Yum.
and I was like, imagine the salt intake that I was doing by having that like as a nightly
Don't
snack.
don't imagine it actually. Don't
It's
don't
fine. I was a
imagine it
teen.
at all actually. Yeah. The one that I got after I moved here, there was a spot in the gas station next to me that had like I don't know if it was all like Hispanic, but
Mhm.
there are lime cookies.
Oh,
and
yum.
they are delicious. They kind of taste like my American brain went to like Fruit Loops or like eating some
Mm.
Fruity Pebbles
Mm-hmm.
because they're
So good.
crunchy and also fruity.
Mm.
They're green.
I
So
love
that used
that.
to also be one. Yeah.
That's such a good
But
one.
that's all. I just didn't realize people had like go-tos when they do road trips, and I thought that was
Yeah.
interesting.
We always like, and honestly, now that we go to Costco and you can get big bags of stuff, incredible for road
Uh-huh.
trips. That's what I love about a road
Yes.
trip is the big bag of food we take. Incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. If also I'm always down for a pre-made sandwich.
Mm,
We would road trip and you'd just get your sandwich. Grandma would make sandwiches and then we just have bags of sandwiches.
I
But
love that.
that's not usually what I go for anymore, but I do like a sandwich on the road.
Yeah. No, that's so good. Okay. Well, this is now that we've covered our random Q. Oh, I didn't do my
Yeah,
history
obviously.
of the week. Hold on. We're not ready yet. I've got to go
We're not
through.
ready at all.
I'm an idiot. Okay.
Also, we're down to like under 100 days, right? We're
Yeah,
almost at 90 days.
I've got to get on it because you're not going to know anything. No, I'm just kidding.
We're not gonna know anyone or anything.
Ugh. Okay. Let me make sure that it's on. Okay, it's on the Google search. I don't want you to see my entire
Okay.
computer. You know what I mean? Um,
Of
okay.
course.
So this is going to be another familiar face that you would probably be like, "Oh yeah, I recognize that boy." So, this
I
is
do
the
recognize this boy.
yes, he's the one that you see on the lives, the fake lives.
Yeah,
Not
the fake
pretending
ones
to
that
be
I
him.
still watch.
No, they're so good. So he's also
Yeah.
Australian. This is Felix.
Yes.
He doesn't have a fun name. I guess I didn't tell you Beng Chun's real name is just Christopher Beng. And he goes by Beng Chun. Felix
I'm
is
calling
just
him
Felix.
Chris.
Yeah.
Okay, I
So
do actually I love that.
he he does the deep vocals, sometimes rap.
Yes.
Sometimes he'll be on the choreo, but
I
yeah,
do know
he's
that.
most known for his deep, deep voice and beautiful blonde hair.
Mhm.
That's all I know. And here's the thing I'm such
I
a
heard
bad K pop fan.
why.
I just barely know anything, but I know who they are.
And that's the most important part to me.
Yeah.
I want to know kind of what they do in him being the low vocals. I did already know that.
Yep.
But so knowing that and then knowing names, even though I'm terrible with names, or his face.
Yep. Yep.
Up. I had forgotten his name, but I remember.
So we got it. There's. Are you gonna go play? Andrew's in Farmer Beaches. Okay. So there's our history lesson for the week. Let me make sure I didn't just close out of all the windows I need. I didn't. I'm really good at this. Okay.
I did do that before I got on here because I hit that little button and lost all my windows.
Okay, well,
so.
I saw you in the call as I was typing to you, and then I was like, oh, she's already here. I can just talk to her. And then you left, and I was like, oh, she thinks I'm like canceling. And so I was like going, and then I was like, nope, she's gone still. So then you popped back in, and I was like, okay.
I did see that you were typing and then stopped.
Yeah, it's because I saw you. Okay, so welcome back. Do you want to kick us off with our welcoming the people back?
Yes, welcome back, people. Different day, same two girlies. I am that one chick that is relaxed, and this is Oops All Opinions. And just for the record, if you don't like our opinions, what can they do about it? Relax.
Argue with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could go back to back. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, but it doesn't. Yeah. On screen, we're opposite.
Yeah. So on my screen, on what I'm seeing on stream.
So to go back to back, we'll
there we go
here.
Yep. That looks good. Okay.
Yeah, that's us.
So we did do voting this week. Only one person voted, and it was an incorrect. They had to get a replacement ballot. They messed up.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna I can't read. I mean, they can't read.
They can't read.
They might be illiterate.
And the other one
we
said,
don't judge.
Yeah, I'll vote. You know what? We are just this was not us. The people who voted were just two examples of what happens sometimes in voting. Some people forget. You should write down the date and make sure you go at your polling time. And then the other one, hey, oopsies, you got a ballot and you put the wrong person.
Yep.
it counts, but we can always change it later because we also live in America. Okay.
I do think that's like the perfect description of you and I. You're like, I'm gonna vote, forget, I vote, and I'm like, I didn't mean to write that. I clicked the wrong
I
thing.
have
I
such a
wasn't paying
terrible
attention.
memory.
I
I
just do
know.
stuff and then I'm like, that's not what I meant to do, like
That's
constantly.
not what I meant to do. Yeah.
So
No, I'm always like, I'm so busy right now. What was I doing? What was I doing that was so busy? I don't know. But I was
I
so busy at the
I know.
time.
No,
Oh,
no, no. I get it. So we are gonna be talking about mother-in-laws. So I wanted to ask you, um, one, I guess I have two questions. These are deep cuts. Have you ever dealt with a
okay.
bad mother-in-law? Like, I know technically, like, not
Mm,
marriage, but like significant other's mom. And two,
mm,
what are you willing to put up with? What's the criteria for you to put up for a bad mother-in-law? Because I have a lot of opinions.
mm. So I did not have a bad mother-in-law. Again, not married, but I was in a relationship for like 7 years, and I loved her.
Mm-hmm.
We love each other. We'll still talk. I have been single for a few years, but we still check in sometimes. Honestly, with the entire family. I am not on a group chat, but I am kept in the loop. Um, so no, not anything that would be significant. Now, when people say bad mother-in-law, it's like towards you. Like
Mm-hmm.
something's happening that's kind of towards you. That I have never experienced that. But it's because you and I are perfect people and
Yeah,
no one has anything bad to say about us.
that's a good
Um,
point.
so no. But and I think because of that, I don't at the time, if it was a bad experience, I think I would have put up with a lot. And I did put up with a lot of um we're glad that you're there. It's really important that you're there with this person. Are you laughing at
The
the dog
dog.
behind you?
She's just rolling around on her back. Hey, are
He
you
was
good?
really feeling it too.
You're alive. Okay, just making sure you're alive.
Uh,
Sorry.
no, it's okay. I put up with a lot of like
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you're there to help with the situation.
Right.
When now I would have been like, fuck the situation. I don't want to be a part of it. Um, so I don't know what all I would put up with now as a 30-year-old. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure, but I have not had that type of experience, so I don't really know what that comes with.
Yeah. I feel like for me, a lot of times I would deal with liking the mom more than the person I was dating. I hit it off with moms,
Oh,
but also dating a lot of losers before, they didn't have much, but I love the moms. Um,
yes.
the only issue I've ever dealt with is the moms that enabled the son too much. And you see it and they kind of feed into like some of the negative things that maybe you shouldn't put up with their relationship because they kind of can stem in a way that they're like, well, they were such a sweet boy and here's like why they're acting this way and like, and here's the reason that maybe they're not treating you well. Um as far as what I would put up now is I know people that have bad mother-in-laws. And I
Mhm.
guess my biggest issue isn't even with the moms, it's with the partners.
Me too.
Yeah, because if your mom treats me like crap, I tell you and you do nothing to either correct it or cut this person off. My issue is now with you
Mhm.
because your mom technically doesn't
Yeah.
owe me anything. You do as your
Yes.
partner. So that would be where I wouldn't put up with it. Like the mom treats me like crap, which I guess if they do something about it and the mom continues to treat me like crap, then we're going to have a different issue. But like you need to address it.
Right. I don't understand now. I say this, but like I don't understand how you could like treat someone in certain ways. Like some of these stories I read, I was like, this is a weird, how can you treat someone like that? Now, I will say, my adult child, I have opinions on who they date,
Yeah,
but I
yeah, yeah.
also am like, it's your life, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's all you. But we're pretty vocal with each other. But I have no reason to actively be an asshole towards
Yeah.
their partner. And so I don't really understand how people are like that towards them. You can have an opinion and talk about it back here,
Mm-hmm.
but to actively be bad towards your kid's partner to me is just weird, I
It
guess.
is very
I
weird.
just
Are
don't
you in
really
love with your
understand.
child? So I guess, okay, after these stories, I want us to say,
Yeah.
would we put up with that? I want, like, at the end,
Oh,
you can
okay.
just be like, I'd put
Okay.
up with it or no. Um,
Okay.
so it isn't even, so it's you because now we understand everything, actually.
Yes.
We know how to podcast, so.
Actually, we're so good. I will be honest, looking at these, I tried to find a little bit of everything asshole or non-asshole wise, and maybe I didn't read any of them. I was just trying to see the results. It was hard to find assholes.
I
It may
agree.
be because like how they wrote it and whatever, but I'm also not going to say that the mother-in-law is always the asshole in the
No,
situation.
100%.
So, anyway,
That's so
I
funny.
thought this one was wild.
Okay.
Was a wild title to also get the result. Anyway, am I the asshole for not telling my mother-in-law her son had passed?
I saw this one. I didn't click it, but, ooh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, okay, this is nuts. Okay, I sound completely awful here, and I think I might be. Now that pretty much everyone in my family thinks I'm horrendous, I want an outside opinion. My husband passed away recently after a very sudden and difficult struggle with cirrhosis. It was easily the worst thing to happen in my
Mm.
life. The damage was invisible for years, we never saw it coming. He got so sick so fast. After they diagnosed him, he lived a little over a year. We called all our family, including his mother, who otherwise we didn't have much contact with. I've always hated that woman. She has always been cruel to him, put him down every chance she could. When we called her saying her son was terminally ill, she first denied it, insisted we were lying. Then she went on about how we should have seen this coming, that this is just what happens when you're a drunk. Of course, this shut down the call pretty fast. She only called once after that, and we didn't pick up. A little over a year later, I had to bring him to the hospital, and in 2 days he was gone. At
Oh,
that
wow.
point, he was already just so confused and hardly conscious. I told my parents and his brothers, and we were the last people to see him. I wasn't doing very well at the time either. Everything just happened so fast. I wasn't ready to make any of those decisions, and between the doctors and the bills and just seeing him so sick, I didn't even think about his mother. In the days after, I just didn't want to deal with her. I know that's horrible, but I was just so tired. She called me a few weeks later. I'm not sure how she heard. She was hysterical, which I know is understandable. She said I robbed her of saying goodbye to her son and robbed him of a proper service. I should have just hung up, but I was just so hurt and so angry. I informed her she a very was a very nice service we held, which every important person in his life was there. I said she must have been mistaken and blocked her number. She had gone ballistic. Called my brother-in-laws in tears about how I've ruined her life, gone on Facebook about how devastated she is, and publicly begging me to talk to her. Now she just wants his things and to know what happened. Even my parents said it wasn't my place to make that choice for my husband and I should try to talk with her. I know I probably should. I know he was hers before he was mine, but she made him miserable. And if he had been able to choose, I know he wouldn't have wanted her there. I don't think she deserved to see him, and I don't think she deserves to have any of the things that were his. But now that I write it all out, it really sounds horrible. Maybe I'm out of line to make that call. The only people who haven't said I was being cruel are my husband's two brothers. Who knows how she can be? But other than them, she was the only family he had. Maybe it isn't my right to interfere with that. Maybe beyond asshole. Am I an absolutely awful person?
Hey, so you just started with the craziest one. Dang. Okay. That one is so tricky.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah, I should have ended with this one. My bad.
okay, so I guess my gut reaction was okay, not inviting her to the funeral is crazy. But when
I
this
do
was
think
all going on, in my opinion, I think it should have been his siblings that contacted the mom. I don't think it should have been the wife because she's going through losing her partner. If I mean, I kind of think the brothers should. I know they're losing a sibling. Yeah, but I think
Mhm.
that's a family matter that you are in charge of contacting your own parent. Not inviting her to the funeral is a lot because that's where she's the asshole in that. I understand the son's, whatever, but unless there was something specifying, before he died, I don't want my mom there. I don't think she had the right to do that. So I guess asshole there. So yeah, I guess everyone kind of sucks too.
Yeah, I think different pulling different scenarios out of that causes a different reaction.
Yep.
I think not reaching out and telling her, even afterwards, the fact that she did find out through someone else after the service, I feel like that was a little,
Yeah.
like, to not even tell her feels a little
Yeah.
odd. Definitely not inviting her to the service. But I also agree that the mother should not have his things.
No. No.
I think that's odd.
They should sit down
But
together
but
and work through it and decide what they want to divvy up if the spouse is willing to. But yeah.
yeah, knowing that not just did he have brothers, but he had brothers that talked to both of them. I think I agree that
Yeah.
she should tell the brothers to tell her. So I don't think overall the asshole, but there were asshole tendencies.
Okay. Yeah. What was the overall on this one?
Not the asshole.
Okay.
Which I thought was interesting based off the title and then not the asshole. I was interested in what that said.
Yeah. Like, yes, verbal abuse or whatever. Like, how estranged were they? Were they? Because I'm just kind of like, I don't know.
Yes. There the comments do mention why didn't his brothers tell their mom
Okay.
about the service. So I think we're on the same page.
Yeah.
But okay, so would you put up with this?
Honestly, probably not. Knowing that he has other siblings, like, I'd be like, you have no right. Like, how you treated him. Like, I'm there for my partner. So, no, I would not.
I agree. I would have done things a little differently, but I would not put
Agreed.
up with all the bullshit.
Agreed. I would have still done stuff
Yeah.
that I could have lived with myself with and not questioned, but that's about it.
Agreed.
Okay.
Like, what a starter. So sorry.
Okay. All right. Am I the asshole for telling my mother in law that I don't like her food? My husband, 23, and I, 21. Too young.
Yeah.
I get so derailed, but I'm
Child
like,
bride.
both
Oh.
go from different cultures. For example, I'm actually an immigrant and only moved to America when I was just 12 years old. There's a lot of things my husband and his family does differently than mine, things that I'm not quite accustomed to. One being how they prepare and season their food. To me, it's just super bland, and the choice of food combinations just don't seem to go together. For example, my mother-in-law puts mayo on literally everything. I even seen her make a tortilla pizza as mayo as her base, which she offered to me. Each time she offers me food, I always make up some kind of excuse to avoid eating it and try to be as polite as possible about it. But unfortunately for me, after I invited her to dinner, she felt compelled to do the same for me, even when I told her it's not necessary. The next day after dinner we had together, she started making plans with my husband. When my husband brought it up to me, I told him I really didn't want to go, to which he replied, "My mom's food is not that bad. Could you please just deal with it for one day?" Now, in most cases, I would have just suck it up in order to maintain a good relationship with my mother-in-law, but I'm pregnant in my first you're a child in my first trimester and I'm feeling extra nauseous.
Not just a child bride, but a pregnant child bride.
Yeah, a teen mom.
Whoa.
I'm feeling extra nauseous. I honestly don't think I'd be able to keep the food down in the condition I'm in. My husband grew up eating her food, which is maybe why he doesn't think it's that bad. I mean, even my family thinks so. When my mom invited her over for a family get together, she brought some pasta, which sauce tasted like a whole package of ketchup was dumped in it. I ended up venting to my sisters and mom about the issue, and they all gave me the advice to just be honest. And my mom even said that if I don't be honest now, it's something I'll have to deal with the rest of my life. So I decided to call her and express to her that I'm not accustomed to eating the type of food she is used to making. And since I'm pregnant, it'll be really hard for me to swallow because of my nausea. I even offered to teach her the recipes from my homeland that she seemed to really enjoy. It didn't seem to go too well. She was really offended and told me that she'll never cook for my ungrateful ass again, and told my husband. My husband is really disappointed in me because he felt like I should have just pretended to keep the peace and is upset. Now, my mother in law doesn't even want him to invite me over again. I feel super bad now and seriously want to know if I'm the asshole in this situation or if I was being too mean or disrespectful. Am I in the wrong? There are updates. But based on what you know right now, how do you feel?
I don't. I don't think that. Now, how often are they getting together? Are
That
you
was my
having her dinner
question.
twice a year, once a month even? Have good food on other days, kind of? A little bit? I don't know if it's worth. If everything else was fine before this, and this now is bad, then was it worth it?
I I think she is I think she could have said, "Hey, I'm really struggling with nausea. These are the only things I'm capable of eating right now. I'll bring
Right.
my own."
That's true.
That's
Use
all
the
she would have had to
pregnancy
say.
as aversions.
But saying,
I
"I am going to teach you how to cook," mistake, asshole.
yeah.
Honestly, what you do, you've had people cook for you that the food is just bland. Salt, pepper's your best friend. Hot sauce.
Yeah.
Everything's a
Bring
little
what
bit
you want.
better. And that's what I mean. They have to have salt and pepper there. If they don't have hot sauce, bring your own. Just be like, I really like spicy food. That's not offensive. Someone putting hot sauce on your food,
It's
not
not.
offensive. Salt and pepper, not
No.
offensive.
I agree.
What you did, offensive.
But I also yeah, that felt honestly use the pregnancy to your advantage. And that's okay. But and if you would have said like, "Hey, here's something that we both enjoy and then we can learn how to make," but not like, "Hey, we need
And
I
she
can't eat
could have
what you
done
have."
that if she invited the mom over. I think she could have offered to cook with her
Yes,
then to teach her.
I
But
agree.
just being like, I'm going to come over to your house and teach you how to cook, I'd be offended too.
I would too.
Okay.
I would
So
too.
the update. I have
Please.
invited my mother-in-law out to a to a tea cafe and spoke to her in person. I was able to explain myself better, and I choose not to back down on me not liking the type of food she cooks. I'm sorry, but like this is my life, and I'm choosing not to live the rest of my future being pressured into eating foods I do not like, and I'm also choosing to live my relationship based on honesty. I had an honest discussion with my mother in law and explained to her that I love her as a person and appreciate the time and effort she puts into making my husband and I food, but honestly, I do not like the type of food she chooses to make. I explained to her that it doesn't make her any less of a person or a bad cook, it's just my personal preferences. She took it extremely well this time and apologized for insulting me and told me that she's never been the best cook and would love to take me up on my offer to learn some meals from the homeland. I ended up suggesting that we take cooking classes together and she loved the idea. I think the little bump in the road gave us a stronger bond, and I'm glad we were able to patch things up. I personally don't think the advice I was getting from the majority of the sub was good advice and would recommend anyone in my situation to be honest and kind. I even made it known to my mother in law that I myself would appreciate the same kind of honesty coming from me, and if she ever disliked my food I made or even a gift I gave her, to please let her know so I can make or get something she would enjoy. She even made jokes about previous gifts I got her. LOL. Okay. You are so lucky your mother in law is like a good person. And
Yes.
also, you are a snot nosed little shit.
A little bit. A little bit. I I'm like trying to picture anyone in that situation. I don't think it would I don't know if I would be as nice like or how long has it been
Right.
since the original compared to the update?
Right.
I don't I don't know
Also, I didn't like
if
the advice
I
I got.
yeah, hey, how about you guys Shut up. Hey, you guys were mean, and
Hey,
I didn't like that.
your opinion was different than what I wanted. I don't like it.
Yeah, I know I put this on here, but I didn't like it.
So
Interesting.
the overall vote was asshole.
Okay. Okay.
So people are saying she's a soft. You're the asshole. No, you don't need to eat her food. You don't have to like her food, but calling her up to tell her how you literally cannot imagine trying to choke down her food is pretty rude.
It is. I mean, I guess you may not be the asshole, but you are just, that was rude. That was rude as hell.
That was so rude.
I think you can walk yourself back off of being rude, and I think that's what she did. It was like maybe it was the way she said it the first time, but I'm interested in how she said it the second time.
Same.
Because that reaction from the mother-in-law the first time was not good.
No.
So it's like you clearly said it in a way that offended her.
Yeah, because some people are like defending her wording and saying that OP said the food made her sick. Okay, I think she was just being dramatic, to be honest.
Me too.
I don't think that justifies being rude. You don't get a pass for being pregnant and nauseous.
No.
You can still be polite.
Yes. You can say things in a polite way, especially because it's your mother-in-law.
Yeah, the grandma to
She's not
your
a
children.
stranger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your teen mom pregnancy.
Yeah. She's gonna be taking care of you. Oh, hi, LA Looker. Welcome in. How are ya? How the heck are
Hey
you?
there.
Okay. Would you put up with that mother-in-law? I guess.
Yes.
Would
Will I put up with the child? No.
Yeah, I was like, that lady sounds like a
Yeah.
saint.
That honestly, yes. Because now I don't want to go to cooking classes with you, girl.
No, piss off.
Because now I'm like everything I make she's gonna criticize. So
Also,
we are reading Reddit stories, LA Looker, about mother-in-laws.
and you know who's gonna be? You know what? When she had that baby, I'd be like, well, I would bring her meals to make her life easier, but she hates my cooking and it makes her sick. That's me. I'd go that petty and be like, sorry.
Or we're gonna learn how to make one dish. That's the only one I'm making forever.
Also,
Every time you're over, that's what I'm making.
people hate on mayo. I love mayo.
Okay. I like mayo on a sandwich. The way that she was describing it was not for me.
I'd have to look. Because you can put seasonings in mayo. You can add other sauces to mayo. Delicious, versatile.
Sure.
Eat it with French fries.
Yes.
Why not the father? Well, I just more so mean that the two parents will be occupied with the newborn baby, so it's custom to have in-laws, friends, family bring dishes over for you not to have to cook.
Yeah. That's what we did.
Yeah.
I've done that.
I've bought I don't ever make stuff. I just get like gift cards for like DoorDash and give them to people and just be like, get food delivered.
Yep.
You don't want my food.
That is what I did. Don't have mine. Get somewhere else. Oh, that's so funny.
So see how mine was haha funny?
Okay. I knew from the title of my last one he was gonna die. Yours would be like, haha, funny title, and then just
be like,
trash
actually, he was addicted to drugs, meth. He kicked my dog once.
Yeah, but the title would be like, hey, should I have told this guy to kick rocks? And it's like, hey, let's find out.
Hey, he made me drop my lollipop, and then it's like he was actually addicted to crack.
I was like, yeah, we were so ready, and then we weren't. Okay. Oh, okay. Am I the asshole for causing my mother-in-law to take away some of my sister-in-law's books?
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. We're visiting my in-laws, and my sister-in-law was telling me about all the books she's recently read and bought as we both like reading. I've read some of these books and I wasn't sure if she should be reading them as she's 16 and some of them are pretty explicit and don't exactly have the healthiest romances. I told my husband about the books and he told his parents. My mother-in-law ended up asking me to point out which ones I knew were too mature for her and she confiscated them. My sister-in-law is mad at me as she isn't going to get the books back as my mother-in-law is planning to donate them and she's no longer allowed to buy whatever books she wants. Am I the asshole?
Okay. Oh my god. What are you reading, Miss Lady? That one spicy. That one like okay.
She was like, that one, that one, that one. I know all of those.
I don't know. I'm also conflicted on this one. Because
I'm a little conflicted.
16 is young in the grand scheme of things. I don't know, but it's also somewhat mature enough for now. The unhealthy relationships, sure, a little spice, not gonna hurt the kid, the 16-year-old,
But
the
also,
teen.
the 16-year-old. But also, how many books, if we're just going with unhealthy relationships,
Yeah,
just like overall, how many books, how many TV shows did we watch with unhealthy relationships? A
I was
lot.
literally talking
I
about
don't
Pretty
think
Little
that
Liars the other day about the teacher predator. Like,
really fell in. And we just were like, hey,
romantic.
we're
Yeah.
romantic.
Or
So I'm
reality,
like,
we grew up on
okay.
Teen Mom, and that was supposed to teach us about why we shouldn't get pregnant, but we're like, having a deadbeat dad being on TV.
Hot. And there were people in our school who I heard low key wanted to be on it. That's not why they got pregnant. But that's definitely...
I wrote a whole paper on it. I quoted them as an anonymous quote.
Did you really?
That was one of my junior
Good for
year
you.
or senior year term papers, was why Teen Mom and 16 and Pregnant was bad for us as youth.
Love that. That's
Did
really
pretty
funny.
good.
But yeah. So the whole unhealthy relationship thing, to me, whatever.
Yeah.
We were watching it on ABC Family. So,
Yeah.
but I guess it depends on the spiciness of the books, you know? If
Yeah,
people are
like,
just fuck.
yeah, because I think
Who
about
cares?
like ACOTAR level spice, because like we grew up on like Twilight, and there was definitely some spice in there a little bit, like,
There was some
but
at the end.
there's, so I guess there's level. I guess I would need to know what books specifically so I can write them down. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really. We've talked about we do not like super spicy books. They're
It's
uncomfortable.
not really for me. So I don't know. Well, and that's it too. Is it like the books we like where it's like a little bit here and a little bit there?
Right.
Sure. Now, would I rather the kid be 18?
No,
Sure. But
100%.
also, what's 2 years at the same time?
I know. Which,
You
like,
know?
I feel like people are gonna be like, "That's bad," but like, I don't know. 16, you're a teenager. Most of them are already having sex. Sorry.
Honestly, yeah.
Sorry. If you have a 16-year-old,
Yeah.
go talk to him.
Hard to break it to everyone. Not me. I say that with like my whole chest and like it wasn't me. Yeah, 16-year-olds out there fucking. I was like watching Disney Channel.
You said, "You go, guys."
Cool guys. No, I didn't, girl. I sent some text messages to some friends and they were not very nice. But
Hey,
that's
that's okay.
enough.
We all
That was different. We all have trauma.
we all have things we said.
So to me, depends on the book.
Yep.
Depends on what was said. Are people just happen to have sex a couple times in the book?
Right.
Sure. Are they is half the book the description of it? Maybe. But also don't donate them.
Yeah, you're gonna put the hands on another kid.
Yeah. Well, and also not being able to buy whatever books she wants now. Now your mommy has to look at all the books you want to buy. That's so I would hate that.
I think doing it out of a concerned citizen of like, I know she's not a concerned citizen, but like being like, "Hey, these are not appropriate. Like, you might want to look into
Sure.
that." I don't think that makes you an asshole. You weren't like snitching to just
No.
snitch, but I feel like there's some
But
weird
Shelby didn't
boundaries.
snitch to the mom.
Right? That's true.
She just told her husband,
True.
and her husband told his mom. So I don't think she's the asshole at all. I think that was probably like on the way home, how we talk about like on the way home if you're having a discussion. That's just on the way home conversation and be like, "Hey, did you see the books in your
Fine.
sister's bedroom?" And then he probably wasn't even thinking about it.
Older
It was
brothers
just like,
snitch just because sometimes.
honestly,
Can
yeah.
speak from
And he would probably didn't even
experience.
know. He just was like, "Yeah, mom, and did you know those books?" And I don't know. I feel like it was an accident, and now the mom's like, "We're taking away the books.
Yeah.
We're eating the dogs. We're eating the cats.
Not a very
Taking
sex
away the
positive
books, and
house.
we're donating them."
Would you want to get me
So
water?
this one, however, people did say asshole
Oh,
to this one.
okay.
Yeah. I don't think she was the asshole at all. I don't think she
No.
did anything wrong. I think she was just having a conversation. She was having a conversation with the sister because they're interested, and then I think she just had the conversation with her husband. He's the one who blabbed.
Why? What are people saying? How is she in the wrong?
I really don't know. You're the asshole, but in a rather sad way. You could have used. Whoa. People are so okay. Wild. Okay. You could have used your fear of her developing an unhealthy image of romance as an opportunity to talk to her about the exact issue. If you wanted her to be safe and you shouldn't have used your relationship with her in order to educate her. You should have used your relationship with her in order to educate her on why these books might portray an unhealthy image and advise her to read with caution. You won't be able to control what she consumes ever, not with the internet and social media present, but you threw away the opportunity to be her guide. Now you've taken away not only her books, but managed to teach her that she can't trust you instead.
I don't think it's that deep.
I don't think she meant to. I think she just was like, yeah, these books. And then through the conversation with her husband was like, yeah, I don't know if those are like the books to read.
That
And then he's the one
conversation
who told.
should have happened with the mom. Once the mom had the information, she should have been like, "Hey, I like looked into these, like blah blah blah."
Right.
And also,
I don't think
sorry, the mom should have like was she did the mom not have access to see? I don't know, only blame the mom. But did she not have access to see what the girl was reading? Like, wouldn't you look into
right.
it as a 16-year-old? If my teen was buying books, I would probably be like, "What are you reading? What is that?"
But also, are you not curious about what your kid like? I'd be thrilled if my kid was just reading all the time. I'm asking what you're reading. Let's both read. What are we reading
Yeah.
together? Like there are ways where you should definitely know what your child's reading.
Yes.
So honestly, that whole conversation, it's also not the sister-in-law's
No.
responsibility.
No. That's weird.
No, I disagree with Reddit on that one hard. I don't think she's the asshole at all.
No. That's okay. Okay. So, am I the I don't know why I laugh at mine. I just am like as
I
if I didn't pick it myself.
yes.
Okay. Am I the asshole for revoking my mother-in-law's babysitting rights because she put my son in a diaper? Me, 29 female, and my husband, 31 male, have a son, 3 male, and a baby girl on the way. As a baby, my son developed a severe allergy to diapers. He'd get awful rashes that took way too long to get better, and nothing we did helped much. I didn't mean to pick another long one. Due to that, my husband and I started potty training a bit early, right before he was 18 months old. We talked to his pediatrician and relied on cloth diapers as much as we could. After having a few months of that, he'd almost grown out of his allergy, but we kept going. Today, he's fully potty trained. He has some very rare accidents, but only when he tries to delay his bathroom trips for too long. When that happens, we wash him up and replace his underwear. My husband's mother was firmly against our decision to potty train our son early. She insisted that it would lead to IBS and that he should wear diapers until he was at least 3. She tried to convince us to change our minds for months, but we held our ground. In early December, I had a doctor's appointment while my husband was at work. So I left our son with their mother-in-law for a couple hours. Sometime later, she called me and said my son had a bathroom accident. He hadn't had one in months. I instructed her on how to proceed as well as where to find the spare clothes I'd packed for him. I picked him up about an hour later. On our way home, he complained about being itchy. I didn't know why until I got him ready for bath time later that night. He was wearing a diaper. He didn't get any rashes, but the diaper was a couple sizes too small, and he hadn't worn one in a long time, so I think that's where the itchiness came from. When I asked him about it, he confirmed my mother-in-law had said he was was still a baby and put him in a diaper. When my husband and I confronted her about it, she defended herself by saying his accident was clear proof we'd made a mistake by potty training him early, and he should go back to wearing diapers for the time being. At no point did she apologize. We decided she was forbidden from babysitting, as well as spending time with our son unsupervised. She didn't think we were serious until we went to her place on Saturday. We had to go to the hospital, and rather than leaving our son with her, we took him with us. Now that she knows we're serious, she's calling us dramatic and ungrateful, as well as claiming we're alienating her from her grandchildren out of stubbornness. She maintains she was right about early potty training being a bad idea and was only trying to help us. I don't think we were in the wrong, but this does feel a bit dramatic. My brother-in-law, who was skeptical of our decision back in the day, thinks we're right to be angry, but it's still an overreaction to revoke her permission to babysit. Am I the asshole? There's 2 edits. Edit 1. I feel the need to point out the diaper was clean when I removed it. Also, my son will be 4 years old in February. Edit 2. Mother-in-law is not our only babysitting option. My mom and stepdad, my sister, brother-in-law, and my best friend also babysit.
Okay, first of all, not the asshole. Second, almost 4 years old is too old to be wearing diapers. Whatever. I don't think that there's a too early time to potty train.
Where is she getting that? Okay, and IBS?
IBS is wild. And also, if you're going to put a diaper on a kid, it better be the right size.
Literally.
2 sizes too small. Imagine being in underwear 2 sizes too small. That's not equally, but about the same vibe, especially if you're used to not just wearing things your size, but not wearing that type of texture and all that anyway. That mother-in-law is terrible, and I don't blame them. Especially with another one on the way. What if they have the same allergy? All that's gonna just start over again. Almost 3 to 4 is a fantastic time to be potty trained. So I don't know what she's talking about.
Also, sometimes kids when they're potty training, not to out my sister, but when she was in potty training, sometimes she wouldn't want to stop playing. So then she'd have an accident. She didn't she would be like, "Oh, I have to go. It was too late." So right now, because he's having accidents doesn't mean he's not at a good spot to be potty trained.
I agree. My nephew is doing the same thing. He's 2. But sometimes he's just like, yeah, that's a long walk down the hallway.
Yeah, no, I'm too busy to go.
He knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, and whatever. And I think that's normal. I think that's fine. They're 2 or 3 or whatever. Some people are like, she's never gonna watch him ever again. I don't know about that, but I do think that for now, not the asshole at all.
I agree, but also to an extent, if that was just a babysitter who I gave specific instructions to and they just blatantly ignored me, I'd probably fire them. Now, not saying she can't ever see him again, but I don't know. I feel like not letting her solo watch him for a while. Because what else is she gonna ignore what you want?
Right. This is literally not... So even if... I think specifically that he has an allergy is enough to be mad. Even if he wasn't all the way potty trained, even if she did that instead of a cloth diaper, I think everything that adds up makes it worse.
Yep.
But even if none of the other things happened and it was just, hey, he has an allergy to diapers, he's not potty trained, can you use a cloth diaper instead? And she used a regular one. That in itself would be a problem.
Yep. But yeah, just to blatantly go against the parents, I'm like, I wouldn't put up with this mother-in-law. We forgot to answer that on the last one, but.
I did think of that. But also, I don't know how to feel about, I think that the last one, it was the mother-in-law that was the issue. I don't know if it's would I put up with it. I don't know, but I would have a conversation about it.
True.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So. This one is this is a big thing to overstep on.
Yeah.
So what about all the little things?
Yep.
So I'm not exactly sure what would happen in the future, but I don't think that they're the asshole right now for keeping the child from her.
Also, I didn't even think about this comment where it said telling your 3-year-old they are still a baby, which feels a lot like a big overdose of shame for the kid for having an accident. I'm sure he'll recover and stop thinking about it for 10 minutes, but it's pretty bullshit from mother in law that she's all, you're a shameful, shameful boy. That is really messed up.
Yep. That is, I agree.
Also, yeah, what's her weird thing with the potty training? Why is it affecting her?
Yeah, I don't know. What I don't really understand. That's like that kind of got me into a whole different thing. Why does she care that much?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to me. But okay, I will say I did have like second, third cousins. I'm just putting that out there to say they're not my direct cousins that breastfed till they were walking around, had teeth,
Mm-hmm.
like walking around, not just toddlers, they were
Mm-hmm.
children. So people do weird stuff at different times and different ages. So whatever,
And it's
but I
up
think
to
the
the
whole potty
parent.
training.
Yeah. If the parent, because like I have heard about that, about like breastfeeding longer, but like as long as the kid's healthy, like it's not for you to tell the parent what they, and like if the parent asks something of you, you don't get to say no. Unless
No,
it's
you don't.
endangering the child.
Right. Hey, can you get my kid a cigarette every hour? That'd be great. Thank you.
Right.
Then you can have an opinion. But that's just my I think that no children. I think that people our parents' age are learning that we're not putting up with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I pictured a boomer too.
Yeah. A little Gen X, a little boomer action.
Yep.
Because they did.
Yep.
They to them grandparents were grandparents and grandparents got to do whatever they want. And I think that that's something that's happening now is people our age are like, yeah, you can't.
Meanwhile, they were latchkey kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
maybe let's chill out on the parenting, on like telling other people how to parent.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm like, this is that fine line of someone, I assume that age, thinking they can do that, being weird with potty training stuff. I think that's such a weird. I hated the take. I hated the take of the mother-in-law.
Also,
I thought that
who
was
doesn't
weird.
have IBS? And I can't imagine it's
Right.
from potty training.
Also, do you think she meant something else?
Maybe.
Do you think she meant UTIs?
Maybe.
In my head, I heard IBS and I was like, okay, I guess. But then I was like, maybe UTIs.
Unless it
Also,
is
we're
it just
girls.
something that like she just thinks the baby's growing up too fast because they're already potty training. I don't know. The more I think about it, mother-in-law's weird. Keep her
The
away from your
mother-in-law's
kid.
really weird. The weird potty training stuff is really weird to me.
Yeah. No, I don't like that. Okay.
I don't either. Okay, do you want to keep going or are you?
No one's on yet, so I say let's just both do one more story.
I don't know why I made that sound. Okay, am I the asshole for setting a glitter trap to catch my mother-in-law trying to snoop?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Okay. I actually love this. Would love to see this happen. Please have also set up a camera. Okay. For some weird reason, my mother-in-law really wants to go into our bedroom whenever she comes over. On one occasion, I followed her as she went upstairs. I was going to get something for my child, as the bedrooms are upstairs. And she walked past the bathroom on the main floor and up the stairs behind it. She didn't hear me, and I caught her walking straight into my room and rifling through bills on my dresser. She denied snooping, even though I just watched her do it, and said she was just going to use our bathroom because she couldn't find the other ones. What? She walked right past the one on the main floor and another one in the upstairs hallway to go into our bedroom. Since that happened, I installed an exterior doorknob that requires a key on our bedroom door and one on the door to our office/spare bedroom.
Damn, big house.
However, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, how many bedrooms? How many things do we got?
How many bathrooms?
How many bathrooms are here? However, she's still always forgetting where the bathroom is and trying the bedroom and office door. This really ticks me off. My husband says that I just get annoyed at this because everything she does drives me crazy, and since we put locks on the rooms we don't want her in, there isn't really a problem anymore. Well, over the holidays, we had my in laws over for dinner, and before I came, I was searching for my bedroom keys. We hadn't used them in a while since we only lock the doors when mother in law comes over. My husband told me we didn't need to lock the doors since she wouldn't try to get into the rooms, and I insisted that she would because she loves to snoop. We went back and forth and decided to cover the doorknobs in super fine glitter to see if she tried them. I did this once before when my husband didn't believe me about the snooping to prove she'd been in the rooms. Last time she ignored the glitter and we didn't say anything about it, but then my husband couldn't deny that she had tried to snoop. So this time, I covered the knobs in glitter and for the office went a touch further and rigged a little folder of glitter over the door to the office before the in-laws came over. I left it one side unlocked, French doors, fancy
Wow.
as fuck, this big house with French doors. And it was set so if you walked into the room, you would get covered in glitter. Husband goes out of his way to show his mom the main floor bathroom when they got here and specifically asked his parents and sister not to go upstairs. There's a baby gate so the kids can't get upstairs either. Well, guess who had to go to the bathroom and got covered in glitter and had it all over their hands and hair? She completely lost it and started screaming at me, so I yelled back, and now my husband is saying I went too far and I'm the asshole. Mother-in-law also says I'm the asshole, but sister-in-law says I didn't do anything wrong, and mother-in-law deserved it for snooping. Father-in-law is Switzerland. Apparently, her car is ruined now too because it's covered in glitter that she can't get cleaned up. So, am I the asshole? There is also an edit. I
Okay.
don't know if you want.
Go ahead.
Okay, okay. Uh, I can't believe this blew up, and I wanted to say thank you, blah blah blah,
Ah.
all the support, blah blah. Well, I don't care. My husband woke up and found this post, and I think the comments have been an eye opener. We're gonna start couples therapy in January. Okay, well that throws off
Yeah.
my anyway. Uh, I will be ordering some cellulose glitter that is biodegradable and safer for future projects. I love that that's what came out of this. And if she comes over again, I will set up a camera, haha, or at least print out some fun fake documents so if she snoops again, she can at least find something interesting. That was a fun ride. I loved that.
Oh my
Hey,
god.
ask me if I'd put up with this.
Yeah, would you?
Fuck no.
Yeah, what is she looking for?
But only only if I get to do this. But also okay, how often do they come over that you have to put locks on your door?
Okay. I love the idea though of the printing the stuff because I would print sexual stuff.
I sure would. I sure would. I would take a picture of me
My
looking through my
butthole.
legs naked, my whole butthole out. That would be, I would just put that on the wall. So you have to see it.
You open the
You
door.
want to snoop? Snoop. Just butthole. Butthole poster. That's exactly what would happen. I love that what came out of that is biodegradable glitter so that
It's
it's
so
like,
funny.
oh
But
god, that's
like,
so funny.
what is wrong? Or I would like start to be like, hey, do you have memory issues? Why can't you remember where our
That's what
bathroom
I'm
is?
saying.
That's what I would say.
Okay. As if the house is so big, so fancy that she keeps forgetting where the bathroom is, then that means they don't come over that often. However, they clearly come over
Yeah, that's
often
a
enough that
lie.
they install doorknobs
Yeah.
on the doors. I'm not changing my entire door because my mother-in-law comes over twice a year.
No,
That's crazy.
yeah, it's clearly a lie about the bathroom thing, but what is she looking for? Like, I feel like at a
What do you
certain
want?
point, why are they also like couples? There's nothing wrong with couples counseling. Why? What came from this that they're now in counseling?
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Is
Now,
it?
I think a part of it may have been like he didn't believe her, blah blah blah, but clearly he does now with he
Yeah,
gets it. So I'm like,
I
okay,
guess
the
maybe him
counseling
thinking
thing
she
did
went
not
too
need.
far,
I guess,
but
but
it's
I don't. Oh,
glitter.
maybe,
It's
maybe.
glitter.
glitter, who cares? And it came because your mom did something
Yes.
and fell into the trap that now, if this had never happened before, if she had never snooped before and then OP put the glitter out, that I get it. That's kind of shitty. But also the husband knew about it.
Yes. If you installed doors, he was involved. He had to believe you somewhat.
Right. Right. And also if the mother-in-law, everything happened and then she yelled at me, you're not partner's not gonna back me up if I'm yelling back.
I'd be like, you got to get out, Mom, you weirdo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Oh,
should have probably handled some stuff.
I agree. Now, as long as OP wasn't the first one to start yelling, because at some point, like, you can't, you got her. You know what I mean? You got her with the glitter. Don't also start just let her sit in it. Do you think that happened before or after dinner?
I would have peed my pants the moment she walked back downstairs covered in glitter, pissed. I would have pissed myself.
Me too.
I couldn't have handled that. I would have been smiling.
To think of, like,
had my phone going.
Even like picture like your or my mom. I know we're not partners, but like picture either of our parents that were just not that either of them are very snoopy, but like pretend even if this like we have a good relationships with both of our mothers. If they were snooping and we set up glitter bombs on the other, it'd be so funny.
I would be clapping when they came down the stairs. I'd be like, "Yup."
I would be like, "Uh-huh.
You found the glitter. What were you doing to find the glitter?"
What were you doing? Hey, what'd you find? Do you think she'll stop?
No.
I don't either.
I just want to be like, hey, wouldn't it just be easier to hire a PI? Because you're clearly after something of mine.
Or just tell me what you're looking for.
I know. What are you hoping to find?
Tell me what they're looking for.
Tell at least tell your son.
Right. Are you concerned about something?
Yeah, do you think I'm like cheating
if they're
on him?
concerned, right.
No,
then
that's
those
so funny.
But I also love that the sister was like, no, you're good.
I know.
The sister-in-law was like, you didn't go too far.
What are overall it has to be not the asshole, right?
Yes.
What overall, are people saying?
Not the asshole. Okay, this is where counseling came in. Your mother-in-law is an issue, but the fact that your husband refuses to set and enforce boundaries with her is actually the larger issue here. Okay. Sure, but the boundary is the glitter. The boundary, the whole thing about boundaries is you set them up, and then if someone crosses them, that's on them. She crossed them and is now covered in glitter.
He did set a boundary. He said, do not go upstairs. Here's the bathroom. Yes. Now, maybe he wasn't direct, but I feel like he did set a boundary and the mom still did stuff. And he agreed to let you use... Like, he probably could do more, but I'm like, he did set a boundary and gave her a chance to follow.
Yes. And they, at least the first time when they put the glitter on the doorknobs, he knew that was happening.
Yeah.
I don't think he's in denial, because that is what that said, that he was in denial. No. I don't think that. I think at the beginning, when probably the first time when she was like, I just want your mom fucking go up to our bedroom. And then she said she wasn't there. And he's like, no way. Like, my mom wouldn't do that. But after you're putting doorknobs on and her hand is covered in glitter, but you both just had to ignore it, he's not in denial. He's on your side.
Yeah, he could have maybe been stricter with the mom, but I don't know.
But I think that time coming in and saying, hey, no one go upstairs. That wasn't just a boundary to her. It was a boundary to the home, which you're included. And here's the bathroom that you keep forgetting where it is. But didn't she say you had to pass it to go upstairs? Which is wild to me.
Which she needs to print off something that's like, what do I do if my mother-in-law is stalking me? No, like something for the mother-in-law. Like, what legal action can I take so that she thinks she's gonna like sue her? Or can I file a police report against my mother-in-law?
Fake reports, fake like, oh God, what are things you would? Okay, real quick, I know what would you print off?
Oh, I would
document-wise.
Yeah, I'd print off something like that, like legal action, like lawyer films against like stalkers. Maybe a naked picture of her son. I mean, she's seen it, but freaky stuff.
That'd be funny.
Sexy notes.
That'd be funny. Mine would be sexy stuff. I would put fake lawyer stuff or like fake diaries. That'd
Oh,
be a lot of effort.
yeah.
That'd be a lot of effort. But like
Something that's going to
a
freak
nice
her out.
fake journal. Hmm.
No, I love that one.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
okay, I do have one more story that I wanted to get through before.
Please.
Okay, and then it's not very long. Am I the asshole for telling my mother-in-law my daughter can no longer stay at her house during the week? My daughter, 6 female, has recently been asking her grandmother to stay at her place often, and my mother-in-law just decides to tell me that my child will be staying at her place. Okay. Now, normally this wouldn't bother me. I wouldn't think too much of it. However, my husband said that my daughter has been asking to stay there because of the yelling at our house. I will admit that recently I've been losing my patience with her more easily than in the past. So, yes, after asking her 3 times to do something, I will yell at her, asking her to please do what I asked. When I found out this was why she was going over there so much, I told my husband and my mother in law that it would be stopping. By no means am I a bad mother, and both of her siblings completely understand that I yell out of frustration from the lack of listening. They admitted that they know it if they just listen the first time what I say, I'm nice and calm and things run smoothly. I'm also always explaining to her why I yelled at her. After the situation has calmed, so to me, her asking to go over there because I just yell is just an excuse. She isn't made to behave the same way there as she is here, and she knows it. I've heard how she talks to her grandparents, and I'm disgusted, and they don't say a word about it. But now both my husband and my mother-in-law, who already hates me, are super PO'd that I've said she can't go over there for excuses like this. I'm not stopping her from going over there completely, just stopping this behavior. When she doesn't like something, she runs to them to avoid having to deal with the consequences of her actions. So am I the asshole? Please note, am I aware that I'm an asshole for yelling at my kid for not listening? The first three times I asked her to do something? Yep, I am. So if you're going to tell me I'm an asshole for that, you're wasting your time.
Listen here.
Hey, girl.
Hey. Yeah, hey girl, you are. Saying that a 6-year-old needs to learn the consequences of their actions? Wild. That's a 6-year-old. Now, blah blah blah. Kids should learn manners, blah. But also in your home, that kid should be the freest that kid's ever been.
Also, your other kids are scared of you.
Right, your kids,
Simple.
the reason why they do it immediately is because you yell at them.
Yep.
Because
They're
they
trying to
respect you,
appease
not
you.
because they want.
They're walking on
Yes.
eggshells.
They're walking on eggshells with you. Also, do we know how old the other kids are? No.
Mm-mm.
I didn't hear ages, so that's fine. No, you are the asshole. She feels safe with those in-laws.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's the
And
issue.
also, if they're older, it is the issue. That's a problem. Not in the way that she's making it a problem, but it's a problem that this kid feels more safe there than at your house.
Yep.
Especially if she says that it's like all the time. Like the whole reason she wants to go over is because of the yelling. Now, there's also like okay, sorry. People yelling at kids drives me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I see my sister be a parent and I get you say it nice a couple times and then
Yeah.
and then you do it.
We've all been yelled at.
That is not oh, yeah. That is not an everyday occurrence.
No.
And also, how do you think you're telling her about it afterwards? Because she's like, I always tell her why I yelled. How?
Also,
How are you like?
yeah.
Like, are you sitting down and being like, and this is what happened, or just being like, I yelled at you because you did that? That's not explaining anything.
Also, she kept writing stuff in all caps, and that tells me what I need to know. When she was like emphasizing, because I'm just like, when she was like 3 times, it's a 6-year-old. Yeah, she's got to learn, but like the reasoning skills are of nothing. So one of the things that's a good point is someone say, I say this as a parent who used to yell at his kids sometimes. My wake up was when my 7-year-old drew a picture of me at Halloween when the teacher said to draw something that scares you. I will also add, anytime 6-year-old spends with grandma is time she isn't frustrating you. So instead of punishing them both for their honesty, accept that help. Because my thing is, her solution to, She's not self-reflecting. She's not like, my kid is so bothered by the yelling. Man, maybe I like, she's just like, well, then you're not going to go over there anymore. Like, that's insane
Yeah, more
behavior.
punishment.
Yeah, your
More
kid's going to
punishment.
resent you. This is a toxic
Yes.
household. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, this is not good.
Because then being like, other children agree with me. The other kids think I'm fine. They understand why I'm yelling. Okay, what?
The other
Of course
kids I
they're going
yell
to
at.
agree. The other kids I'm screaming at, they don't think I'm that bad. Of course not. You're scary as fuck. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't understand parents who want to be. They want that. They want their kids to be scared of them.
And the thing is, okay, because like, have we all pushed our parents to the point? Again, we're not parents. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh.
My mom sometimes had to scream her head off at us. We understood, felt bad. But when I hear people outside in the neighborhood screaming at the top of their lungs, I'm like, what is the matter with you? Like, what's going on that you're at that point? So I'm not saying that you can't yell, but I'm just like, this lady not reflecting on my kid scared of me feels uncomfortable, so
Yeah.
she's going to her grandparents' house. Giving the kid a break. Because, I mean, what she could do is just sit the kid down and be like, hey, I'm sorry that, like, I make you not feel like you want to be home, but we can't just, anytime something goes wrong, run to grandma and grandpa's house. Like, sometimes we have to face it head on. And going to grandma and grandpa's house should be a fun thing that we do because, not because we're running.
Right. It should be a treat.
Yeah, not to
Fun
escape.
time. Yeah, no, this lady needs to look into herself and honestly go to counseling.
Go to counseling.
Because like after stressful days, our home got loud.
Oh, 100%. There were so many of us.
Like it, yeah, and that just is. But it's not the only memory I have. It's not a reason why. Now, when all of us were fighting with each other, I threatened to run away and ran
All the
across the
time.
street. But, that was fine. Like, it was not a reason. It's not something I remember about my childhood. This kid right now, that
Yep.
is what when they think of home, they think yelling.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a once in a while situation.
No, there's literally no, like, trust in this house. There's no safety for the children.
No.
And that's a good point, is I forgot that it's the mother-in-law who she said hates her. And so someone said, you're embarrassed that your daughter told her grandmother about your terrible behavior, so you're desperately trying to take control of the situation and punishing your young daughter for inadvertently humiliating you. You want her to learn the lesson that she better not tell anyone again or there'll be consequences. That is emotionally abusive. You have serious problem. You need to take responsibility and recognize how much you're hurting your family by not finding healthier ways to manage your anger. I get it. Parenting is hard. Life is hard. People aren't perfect, and that's okay. But something needs to change. The sooner you can accept that, the better it'll be for you and everyone you love. Staying in denial will only lead to misery.
I agree. She's teaching that kid that she can't tell anybody if anything is wrong.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, that one's so tough. And the fact, again, I think we say this almost every episode. The fact that these people, she went onto Reddit and typed out that entire thing and really truly thought that we were going to take the mother-in-law's side, or not, or be on the outs. I forgot the mother-in-law existed.
Me too.
In this whole conversation, like, I. What was the title of this one again? What was like the
Am I the asshole for telling my mother-in-law my daughter can no longer stay at her house during the week?
right? Like hearing that, and that's exactly how she said it too. Sorry, I literally looked the complete opposite way of my microphone. I forgot that mother-in-law had anything to do with this. Is how strongly I feel about this mom. And again, we talk about how we are not like, but we also are empathetic. I can talk to children. This gave me such like big feelings about how that those children do not feel safe in that house. And usually we would go for like, well, it's the husband's job also, but this time it's sure, whatever.
Well,
It's
we don't know what's going
everyone's
on
job.
with him. Oh yeah, I guess he's already
Right.
the husband's mad too. So I'm just like, he's probably getting
Yes.
it too. She's yelling at him.
Right. Right. So this one, I don't even feel like I forgot the mother-in-law existed, and I kind of forgot the husband existed. To me, this is all that mom. It is her responsibility to look inwards and go to therapy.
Yep.
I know that's something that we say, like I say that people need to go to therapy all the time, blah blah blah. But like this person needs, she's going to ruin the relationship with her children.
And cause some trauma to continue on for this child. Because my guess is the mom got yelled at
Yes.
growing up too.
Right.
Oh
Uh,
God. So
I loved and hated that one. It was nice to have one where it's not just like my mother-in-law came over and ate my cheese, you know.
I know. It's oh. I tried to find some where it wasn't
I
always anti.
I appreciate it. It was kind of hard to find
I know.
because everyone we almost all the ones we found were like obviously from the person's perspective and a little biased. But
Yeah.
this one, she said everything she meant to, and she also meant to be biased. So yuck. I actually hate that lady.
Okay.
But
So
also
sorry, go ahead.
do it.
No, go.
No. I'm just
You
over it. I'm over. I
she
want
is
that lady
very
to
active
find
a
peace.
year ago on Reddit. She has tons of comments and posts. So there's one where she's talking about how her daughter, it sounds like your daughter is manipulating you into believing you are the problem when in reality she's the problem. This is coming from someone who does not like their stepmom. So I mean, like, she's all over the place. I'm like, girl, come on.
Do we know the age of her?
No. I'm guessing young.
Old enough to have a 6-year-old and also 2 other kids.
Yeah.
Older, I assume.
I would assume so too. That was a fun
Well,
one. I really
hate
did
her.
like it.
It was.
So yeah. So we will get this out probably tomorrow. Most likely.
Yeah.
You'll see it when you see it. Go vote.
Right.
We
Yep.
have good topics. Good vibes.
Yes.
So
Yes. Vibes, great oldies.
So we will see you next week sometime. Probably.
At some point. Probably.
But that was Oops All Opinions. I'm Relax. That's that one chick. What do you got for him?
And if you have opinions on this, argue with yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not us. We don't care.
Not a. We don't want to argue, but we do want to be validated. So, if you agree, you can
Tell
let
us
us
how
know
good
that.
we are. Yes.
Yes.
So,
And cute.
yeah, cute. Okay, well, we'll see you soon. Bye. Bye.